beginning in the shape of sitting. The legs are crossed with the right leg in front. And as we drop in, we all have our patterns, our complex patterns of negative embodied karma mixed in with everything that is functional. And this is kind of a theme of exploration that permeates all of our practice. When we drop in, and again, to come back to our baseline is to drop our awareness down into the intuitive belly and pelvis, where the mind in the head and the mind in the gut are talking to each other bottom up. So the mind, the cranial mind begins to listen, it begins to move already into serenity in its capacity to mirror. So the sequence begins by sliding the right fingertips way out beyond the right thigh. As you do so, push the right fingertips down, turn the right bicep towards the ceiling, and play with the distance between the top of your head and your left knee. So you want to point the left knee away from the crown. And as always, talk about this a lot, it activates the left channel of the body so it's less stretched and more strong. And then as we come up, we take the right hand palm up and slide the back of the hand straight out in front of the right shoulder, extending the line of the right torso. Pressing the back of the right hand down the whole time. And we're going to come back up, sliding the hand in. Do the same thing with the left hand, the left arm extending, palm up, pressing down into the ground, more through the thumb side of the wrist. Very powerful through the hips. Hollow the belly, lift the belly to the kidneys. As we come back up, we're then going to extend the left fingertips out beyond the left knee. Side bending. Very important to keep the kidneys full, the belly strong, the belly close to the spine. Pointing the right knee away from the crown now. And as we rise, we're going to look to our left in a simple turn, springing out into an asymmetrical squat with the left foot in front. We'll get ready to stand, and then more buttocks and hamstrings propel us up to standing, balancing the work of the quads. Now once we're up on our feet, gathering our balance, gathering ourselves, we're going to load the back leg, the right leg, and start to micro bounce. So there's a micro pulse as the whole body bounces. We're going to float the left leg out in front and maybe even look up a little bit. And as you're here, you might even turn the belly and the chest and the pelvis a little bit from left to right. And then shift forward onto the left leg. Keep bouncing. Set the ball of the right foot just behind you for balance and keep micropulsing as you lean back more deeply, extending the spine, navigating in a back bend in the key of standing. And now we're turning the upper body and the pelvis a little bit right to left, just kind of playing with washing left to right, still bouncing. Try to tone every fiber. We drop down, still bouncing into a short stance crouch, the left foot in front, and we let the bounce slow down. Slows down, decelerating and landing and grounding and easy now as we exhale the entire conscious wildcat. We'll slide the right leg forward into a long squat, which basically means we're just facing the right leg. And then we turn the lower body, or the pelvis and the torso, more to the left to a side squat. And then as if we're going to go into the other side, we shift the hips over to the right, but as we do so, we turn more to the left leg and end up in a long squat facing the left leg. Always moving, always rhythmical. We never are complacent. And we're going to lift the hips out into a crouch. The left leg is still in front. And then we're going to hop the hands forward, load the arms, and balancing on the left leg, fly the right leg. And anything goes here. Anything goes, especially with the sky leg, just letting it reach, and coil, sweep across the midline. And then to exit, we're going to bring the right foot just in front and drop into an asymmetrical squat. Gather ourselves, move within the geometry. Then we're going to set the left hand and slide the left leg out to our right behind the right leg. And we're playing in this hybrid side plank, letting the hips drop low and also move towards and away from the right ankle with the pelvis. And then we reset the left foot underneath us in a squat, right foot still in front. Then we slide the left leg way back, hop the left leg way back into a lunge, right leg leading. And then we're going to blend the key of lunging with the key of standing by simply standing in the lunge. Dropping the back knee towards the floor, and then dropping the hands back to the front of the shape, returning to the lunge. And we're going to turn the right leg out as much as we can and hop the left leg over 90 degrees to our left, just kind of going a little bit clockwise on a big clock as seen from above. And we're in a side lunge now, lifting the left panel of the body away from the ground. It's a lot like Parshavakkonasana, like side angle in yoga. Crouching, coiling away from that front knee bend, blending crouch with lunge, re-lunging. Very powerful from the left heel to the crown. Set the left hand in front, slide the left leg through between the left hand and the right ankle, letting the hips come close to the ground. Then open the left leg out to the left forearm, take the hands inside, and we're in a side squat over the right leg. And then to exit, we simply slide the left foot in closer to an asymmetrical squat, lower the right knee, sit behind the right foot, and now fold the left leg in front to set up the other side of the phrase. Just taking a moment, always allowing ourselves the pause, the relative pause. The pause still moves. We're very, very fascinated and inspired by the power and magic of neutrality, open space, of the possibilities of the moment. How do they inform us? How do they take shape? And so we'll lean over the left knee, left thigh, and slide the left fingertips way out to the left. So the left hand pushes down, the left bicep turns towards the ceiling. Very strong point of the right knee away from the crown. As we come up, we're going to take the left hand, palm up, and slide it straight out in front of the body in alignment with the left side of the torso. Pressing the back of the hand into the ground. The legs pressing into the ground. We come back up. And we'll do the same sort of spatula thing with the right arm as you slide the right hand forward, palm up. Undulating, rhythmical, breathing, wild and conscious. So many waves moving through. We come up, and now with the right hand, reach beyond the right knee, the right thigh, the right bicep turning up. Press the floor with every point of contact very consciously. Strong left side torso, pointing the left knee away from the top of the head. And as you come up, we're going to turn to the right, just enough to spin around into an asymmetrical squat and letting the right foot fall in front. Gathering ourselves to stand up. So from the buttocks and the hamstrings, propel yourself to standing, strong belly. Don't hold the breath. Take your time. It can be a few breaths to the top, very conscious movement. Then we're going to allow ourselves to micro-bounce as we shift the weight to the back leg, the left leg, and setting up that micro-pulse. It feels really, really good. You can play with the velocity of it. Float the right leg out in front and try to balance on the left leg, maybe even looking up. Find the places in the body that aren't participating and turn them on. And we shift our weight to the forward leg, the right leg, and set the ball of the left foot just behind us. We go for a deeper extension of the whole body, extension of the hips and the spine, and we're still micropulsing, and then maybe turning the chest, the belly, and the pelvis to the right and to the left. Variation is so informative, so supportive. And then we fold down into a still pulsing crouch with the right foot in front and let the pulse decelerate until it dissipates completely. so amazing. The feeling, really hard to translate. We're going to slide the left leg out in front into a long squat. And then just by simply turning the lower body and the right leg away from the left leg, we open into a side squat over that right leg. Notice the left leg is never really straight. It does go straight sometimes. Most of the time it's bent and coiled. We want to stay very active in the back of the left leg, where that tissue is very long in the hamstrings and the back line. Shifting the hips over to the left side, but turning fully towards the right leg into a long squat. Just really emphasize the factor and variable of play. You lift your hips out into a crouch, the right leg still in the lead. All of this is very hip-centric. It's very hip-oriented, opening and toning and reorganizing the hips. And from the crouch, we're going to hop the hands forward, and balancing on the right leg in the hands, we're going to fly the left leg. Pick up the standing heel, the right heel, and let the left leg go where it will. Play with the qualities of reaching through all four limbs and also coiling and bending everything. Reach and coil. And then we let the left foot fall in front and we drop into an asymmetrical squat. Still moving and grooving. Close to the ground. We're going to set the right hand off to the right and slide the right leg off to our left behind the left ankle, the left foot, which is in front. And we're letting the pelvis stay close to the floor as it brushes towards and away from the left foot. Hybrid side playing. There's a lot of motion here. There's a lot of beautiful complexity. Bring the right foot back underneath and return to the asymmetrical squat. Left foot still in front. And then we're going to slide hop the right leg back into the long shape of a lunge. And as we move in the lunge, we're then going to add the key of standing to the lunge. So two shape keys together happens quite a lot. Play with dipping the back knee towards the floor sometimes. Just playing around is very powerful in the legs and in the hips. We'll return to the lunge with the fingertips on the floor. Turning the left leg and left knee out to the left. Hop the right leg out to your right and back as you turn a quarter turn to your left. And we're going to set up a side lunge. Now this is a loose definition. All the side lunge means is within the shape of a lunge, we're turning the face of the pelvis away from the floor. This is a gem from yoga, from Parshvakonasana, from side angle, that is so powerful in the hips. Set the right hand out to the right, slide the right leg through between the left foot and the right hand, let the hips get close to the floor, and then we're going to swing the right leg out to the right wrist, take the hands inside the legs, and open up the hips into a side squat over the left leg. Moving, decelerating by way of toning, of embracing, committing all of the body. We're going to slide the right foot in closer to an asymmetrical squat. And then we'll lower the left knee and sit behind the left heel as we point the left toes and fold the right leg in front, having come full circle now for this phrase. And giving ourselves ample time and space to drop in. If we're distracted, if we're revved up, that's fine. Don't ever be afraid of being totally and completely turned on. But within that, find the serenity, find the spaciousness that is inherent within the movement, informed by the movement. The magnificence of the core, the magnificence of our umbilical connection to Source, inviting us back again and again. We reorient to our vital center, and to the temple within. So much prayerful gratitude emanating. Many, many blessings.